Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember.
These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Growing up I had a dream, something no one else could see. Tell me what it means when your faith is falling beneath your knees and you can't breathe. Everything you see reminds you of what you're not or something you won't be. You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a business. Not because they wanna do it, just because they heard it pays. And who the fuck wants to be poor knowing that's how we've been raised? Society is getting heavy, I can feel the weight. The pressure of success is like 100 million pounds of shame. And that's the reason I'm staying up late, trying to find a way to escape the stereotypes this day and age is making me feel like the only way I'll be happy is getting signed to a label and making money through rapping. I wanna share my emotion because this world is attacking the very principle of life that lets the people be happy. If you don't have a reason to breathe, why even live? These battle scars are impressions of everything that it is.
Don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Now, if I had a voice that reached 100 million people, I'd tell them there's a reason that we're all created equal. Cause some decide to be great and some decide a sequel to an average person's life is simply what they want to be. So you make your decision, all I know is what I'm given. Won't define the life I lead or the way I dwell in existence. I've seen a greater image on the walls of where I'm living, and the words twisted and scripted remind me of something written. Faith is a gift that is given down to the people. If one believes it, one receives it. It's given if it is needed. Don't ever think you're trapped in a life that you never wanted. Your options are infinite, that's some mathematical logic. I'm not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers and these battle scars on my church. Not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers, these battle scars on my church.
Don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Well, hello everyone. How are you doing? For those who are following my social media, you know I've been sick today. I had some kind of stomach bug, and boy, God, my eyes are like, whew, I look like the nightmare before Christmas. I look like I haven't felt well. When I don't feel well, I get very dark circles, and boy, do I have them. But I've had a lot of LP work still to do. I've done what I can. I had a Colorado Convention Committee meeting tonight. I really can't afford to miss another day from work. So unless I'm throwing up again, TMI, I know, unless I'm throwing up again tomorrow morning, and hello, Kathy, I'll be at work tomorrow, no matter how I feel. But sleeping a lot today really did help. Wayne went out and hit the campaign trail for me. Oh, chicken soup. That's what I should have after this. I thought of it earlier, Dave, and then I forgot about it. I'm like being all Biden today. I've been working just on a lot of LP stuff, but chicken soup would be good. Then I think I'm going to bed. I've done enough work for today, and I've done a lot. Kathy knows I got those 6 motions done today. That was something. But yeah, I want to, though, keep on track with the show. So despite being under the weather, here I am with party history, because history never stops. And, you know, I'm not happy unless I'm feeling productive. Like, if I'm not doing something, then I'm going to sleep. If I'm awake, if these eyeballs are open, my ass is working. Wayne has said before he's never seen anyone that works not necessarily as hard, because hard is what do you call it? Comparative. I certainly don't work as hard as somebody that's a saturation diver, but as relentlessly, I think he means, as nonstop. He's never met anyone as nonstop as I am. That relaxation, I relax by doing stuff like this, but I can't not be doing something. That's just not my nature. As I said at the LP Colorado convention when I was elected secretary a few years ago, I'm not secretary anymore. I didn't rerun. I said I'll sleep when I'm dead. Like, that's my attitude. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Right now, if there's life, there's shit to do. So right now, the shit to do is this show. Tomorrow night, I've got a National Convention Oversight Committee meeting. Those start up every other Wednesday, starting tomorrow. God, I just washed my hair and look how greasy it is. When I don't feel well, I just look like a homeless woman. Here I am, just a homeless woman with my hoodie on. Give me money. Super chats. I'm panhandling for super chats. Though I do love this sweater. It is that who makes this? Mossy. Yeah, it's Mossy Oak, but it's a really good brand. It's fleece lined. It's so warm. I love it. I found it at like Goodwill for like $3. This is a super expensive, heavy sweater. Okay, but we're going to get started with LP history now. Shall we? Shall we? Yes, I need a sign. What kind of sign? A sign for what? What do I need a sign for? Oh my God, JJ, what are you talking about? I need a sip of my Grand Marnier. That's what I need right now. Kathy, thinking of you and our plans. Oh, people are going to get the wrong idea with that. Never mind. Our drinking plans. That was delicious. Why do I think there's something else I need to do for the LNC today that I'm forgetting about? Oh, we'll work for super chats. Oh, that'd be great. I know I'm supposed to finalize some minutes. I have to finalize the October 6 minutes because they've been auto-approved. And the purposeful Easter egg of Tyler Hobbs being a special guest was caught. It was caught. I think it was Andrew Watkins. He found it, which was nice because it would have been funny if it went through the auto approval process and had Tyler Hobbs as being in attendance. Y'all got to read my minutes because I can be a sneaky bitch. So I do have to finalize those, but I don't think I'm doing that tonight. The draft is out there for whoever needs it. Okay. Let's go on to what we have remaining for history for September/October. Friday, I don't know if I'm going to get to do an LNC update, but boy, do we need to do an LNC update because there are just people upset because Rich Bowen just wants to talk about. There's no motions. There's nothing except for let's talk about whether or not the property in Alexandria is a good investment at this time. People done losing their minds. People, do you realize we could be talking about this and just not be doing it in front of you because it's not an official business item until there's a motion, but he's choosing not to do that. So be glad all the discussion is in open. The first I heard of this was when he gave notice of the motion. I didn't know about this before. So if you're thinking there was already some kind of secret discussion, no, there wasn't. I had no idea this was going to be put on the agenda until it was put on the agenda. It's a discussion worth having. It would take an awful... And there's FEC rules. If we sell the building, it's not like we can just use the money. There's FEC rules. I'm pretty sure we'll just have to buy another building. I think what his idea is that we could get more bang for our buck in another location. And that's probably true. So we have to decide. I know I'm going way astray here, but it is related to history because of all the different historical locations we've had. So we have to decide as to whether being in downtown Alexandria is worth it for the smaller footprint that we have. I can tell you that when the decision was first made to buy that building, it was because we were going to employ a lobbyist, and it was really, we were going to really capitalize on the DC area location. Guess what? We haven't done that. So anyone really like just getting all upset, like, why weren't you upset over the 6 years when it wasn't capitalized on? You're just upset now when we might be making a better financial decision to buy a property elsewhere. I can't tell you whether I'm in favor or not. My default on this is no, because I really don't see this as a mandate coming out of convention. But I do think there's a mandate for us to be good financial stewards. And if the best decision for the party is to move it, then I'll be a yes. But I'm not inclined to yes. I'm very much listen, like, I don't like change. Like, I'm very set in my ways like that. But I'm willing to hear the conversation out. I can tell you it has always irritated me that we own a building in which we cannot have an LNC meeting. That is absolutely ridiculous that the LNC owns a building that there isn't enough room for it to meet in. And it isn't the square footage, it's the way the square footage is organized, because it's spread amongst 3 floors, because it's a townhouse. Probably for what we can sell that for, we could get another property in Alexandria that's maybe 1 floor, so that the space is utilized more efficiently, and we could have a meeting. I don't know. Now, do I think the budget meeting was necessarily the best time to bring this up? No, we've got a lot to do. I would have preferred that this get talked about in March, and maybe it will get postponed to March. I don't know. But so maybe we don't have very much to talk about Friday. I pretty much said everything I want to say, because, and also, let me tell you, I don't think any kind of decision like this is going to, I don't think all the data for this decision is going to be considered and analyzed by a 17 plus person committee. I think if this is something we're going to consider, it's going a specialized committee to study this, to answer all the questions the LNC has, will be appointed. And it won't just be LNC members on this committee. There'll be real estate professionals, whatever, on this committee. That's my druthers, is that we move to commit this question for further study with people who are really, really interested and dedicated to this question. That's not me. I have no time or desire to be in any such committee. But if there are people who have expertise in this area, they have to know FEC stuff, they have to know real estate, whatever. What's the problem with having a committee study something? We should always be doing that sort of thing. So I know some people are super upset about this, and I've somehow even been blamed, even though I had no idea this was even coming. Well, me and Kathy, but Kathy, they didn't mention you. But did you know that we're to blame because of the previous policy manual cuts have apparently turned Rich Bowen into a monster? I wish I were kidding you. But that is the general gist of an argument that was actually made. Yeah, that we're just interested in removing controls, and I guess Rich Bowen is going to turn into his final form and become, you know, what's the monster that eats Tokyo? Godzilla. He's going to turn into Godzilla, and he's going to eat the world. We've unleashed Rich Bowen. Kathy, it's our fault. My God. Barking moonbats. That's all I can say. All right, let's do the history now. Oh, I'm not feeling well enough to deal with this nonsense. Hosper's campaign goes into high gear. And check him out. There he is. He's in high gear. John Hospers. There's a little caption in case you didn't know. Oh, I forgot again how small the print is on this, and I didn't bring down my magnifying glass. I gotta remember to bring down that damn magnifying glass. I'm going so Biden. Okay. John Hospers, LP candidate for governor of California, because this is 74. This is 2 years after his presidential race. He then ran for governor of California. is generating publicity throughout that state as his campaign is shifted into high gear. The candidate was joined by Virginia LPer Roger Lee McBride. Remember, McBride will be our 1976 candidate for president. In a recent whirlwind tour of the state that featured 3 fundraising dinners. Over 150 people attended each of the events held in San Francisco, San Diego, and Los Angeles. At a press conference in San Francisco that kicked off the tour, Hospers labeled his 2 major party opponents as Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Decorum, Mr. Hospers. Decorum. Both believe in big government. Hospers said the 2 men avoid the important issues such as the decline in personal liberty, the strangling of business, heavy taxation, and rising prices. Instead, Brown, the Democrat candidate, and Flournoy, the Republican, merely hassle over who is the more mature. Oh, you mean they're using things like they're the adult in the room and other such patronizing twaddle? Should I say how I really feel? Who has sat longer on a government bench? Who has the nicer personality, he said. It's ridiculous. Over 100,000 copies of Hosper's campaign brochures have been distributed throughout the state. In addition, his campaign organization has sent 4,000 copies of a letter from Gary Allen, author of None Dare Call It Conspiracy, endorsing Hospers. Endorsements have also been obtained from Anthony Sutton and Paul Anderson. According to Hosper's campaign manager, Jack Willis, the write-in campaign has not been able to generate sufficient funds to seriously approach the approximately 120,000 votes that would have been necessary for the LPC to achieve ballot status. Our sole objective is much lower now, but we don't view the campaign as a failure, said Willis. He says the impact of the campaign has been substantial and the groundwork has been laid for the rapid growth of the Libertarian Party in California. Contributions to help, and then it gives an address. We don't need to give these old addresses. All right, let me take another sip here. So that's disappointing. I'm like disappointed 50 years in advance that he didn't get his write-in votes. But, you know, that takes, when you're not even for sure to be on the ballot, like that's a dedicated campaign. Like I work my ass off for my campaign, but let me tell you who really worked his ass off is Wayne. Like Wayne, oh my God, has worked his ass off for my campaign. Because he knows I've had LP and stuff to do. He like went out this afternoon. He's been out every day doing door literature drop for me. But can you imagine working this hard and not even knowing if you'll like you're not going to be officially on the ballot. You have to get write-ins. My God. And I know Kathy here is going, tell me about it, because I know it's that way in Arizona. We are so spoiled here in Colorado because we got automatic ballot access. All righty. Let's just go through. On the bottom here is the current state officers, basically the state chairs, and we're just going to run through them quickly because we might know some of these names. And I'm saving this for next time. I'm actually just doing a short show tonight. We'll probably do a show tomorrow where we will finish this, and then we'll have another one with some wrap-up stuff. But, you know, I just wanted to get something out there for sure, despite not feeling well, because I didn't do a show last night, and I don't like that. I like giving you guys regular content and seeing if there's any questions, because I never know what's going to come up in chat. So if there is anything, you guys, please do stick it on chat before we're done. And again, we'll work for super chats, hint, hint. But yeah, and if you didn't, I know you know this, but I'm just reminding you, LNC meeting in Austin, November 5th through 6th. And if you can be in Austin, please do. It's a lot of fun. Mike, were your ears burning? We were talking about you earlier at the Colorado Convention Committee meeting. We all said boo hiss to you moving. You're not allowed to move. Colorado is keeping you. Cancel all your plans. It's done. Just so you know, you're not going anywhere. We voted. Doesn't matter that you weren't there. We voted. All right. State officers. Alabama. Harvey N. Crumhorn. That's quite a name. Alaska. Paul Beard. We've talked about him quite a bit. Arizona. Mike Thompson. Arkansas. There's an asterisk by Arkansas. National affiliation pending. Okay. Franklin Sanders. California. Ed Clark. Colorado, John James. John James is the guy who designed the Tanstaffel logo, by the way. Connecticut, affiliation pending. Fran Moore and Bob Loomis. Florida, Jim Toole. Georgia, J. Ralph Compton. Hawaii, Jerry Dixon. Illinois, Steve Nelson. Indiana, which also has affiliation pending. Paul Hyatt. Kansas, affiliation pending. Dale Wilson. Kentucky, Paul Siegler. Louisiana, Clayton Sparky Hall. Maryland, Chris Grebe. Massachusetts, David E. Long. Michigan, Gregory J. Clark. Minnesota, Richard Kleinow. Montana, with national affiliation pending, Robert O. Miller. Nevada, Jim Libertarian Burns. And it actually says James L. Burns has changed his middle name to Libertarian. He is such a freaking hero. New Hampshire, Frank Anderson. New Jersey, Jane T. Remke. New Mexico, Maurice R. McDonald. New York, Ray Strong. North Carolina, with national affiliation pending, Douglas M. Lerner. Ohio, Sharon Cook. Oklahoma, Thomas J. Larent. Oregon, Richard Gray. Pennsylvania, Jan Shoemaker. South Carolina, with the national affiliation pending, Charles T. Blackwell. Tennessee, James E. Forrester. Texas, Mike Holmes. We know Mike. Mike's still around. He still writes me every once in a while. Utah, George A. Chapman. Virginia, J. Keen Holland. And that's one of the names that Holly Ward has disrespected with their shitty-ass action where they thought they could dissolve a party that's been in existence for 50 years and all the work of the people that went before him. Holly Ward just thought she could shit on J. Keen Holland. Washington, H.W. Skip Barron. Wisconsin, Jim Millard. So those are all the national, either they're already affiliates or affiliation is pending, which I take to mean they have an organizing convention scheduled, or national already has in its hands the petition for affiliation and just needs to vote on it. That's the way I would understand that. Okay, I think that is really all we are going to cover for today. It's a nice short show, a half an hour. We will do the final page of this particular issue of LP News hopefully tomorrow. I don't think the National Convention Committee meeting will last that long. I'm going to schedule my show for 9 o'clock tomorrow. My committee meeting's at 7. Like the Colorado one ended maybe a half an hour before the start of this show. I expect it will be the same with national, but if I'm late, then you know why. And I don't think there are any other questions or anything. I'll try to get better. It's always rough leading up to an LNC meeting. All right, everyone. I hope you have an awesome night. I hope you enjoyed that show with Wayne. What day did I do that show with Wayne? Was that Saturday? I think it was Saturday. Or was it Sunday? What night did I am so confused. It was Monday night I didn't do a show, right? I know I skipped a night. The days are flying by. All right. I hope you have an awesome night, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow.
gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business.